Hello and welcome to this bonus live session. Today I will be doing a little tutorial on tips on how to dance in releve, so with lifted heels, as well as a small tutorial on the float, so the movement where it looks as if you're floating across the stage. And this was one of the requests from one of my students of the August online classes. Hi Sophie, welcome back. So my August online classes are via Zoom and Facebook Live, but you can also catch up using recordings. And we have 3 more weeks to go, so you can still sign up if you want to go more deeply into strengthening and stretching exercise as well as technique for traveling steps, all kinds. You can still sign up. I'll add a link into the description of this video. And one of the things we were working on this week is the traveling steps basics. And for me, all the basics of traveling steps are a combination of pliés, hi mama, releve, which we'll work on in this video, as well as rotation, turning in and out of the legs. And if you want to have more tips on how to deepen and soften your plié, which makes for smooth transitions and more options in your traveling steps, my Tip Drops membership will have extra bonus tips on how to release your calf muscles, which will give you a really nice, deep and soft plié. So my Tip Drops membership, you can sign up for it and get a little discount. I'll put a link also in the description. Is you get 5 to 10 minute videos of me explaining different tips or inspirations that I have, or motivational videos. So if you need a regular boost of inspiration, motivation and practical practice tips, sign up for my Tip Drops membership and I'll send you a little email every Friday. So today's tip drop will be, hi Lislot, will be for deepening pliés and releasing muscle knots in the calf muscles, which will be really helpful, especially for those who want to practice this deeper. Okay, so that's it. If you want to sign up for my August online class for traveling steps, you still can. And the tip drops, you can always sign up, but this week's especially is for deeper pliés. All right, we will start with a little warm-up now that we have a few people here. I will try to not make it too long because today I am packing actually for a sword camp. We have a Korean sword weekend of workshops with our teacher, Grandmaster Che, and it's very exciting. We haven't had this type of full workshop weekend yet. Hi Britta! But we have done workshops with Master Che and it's always a lot of fun. So we have to pack everything, or practice swords, or our outfit, doboks they call it in Korean, and whatever else we will need. It will be very warm, so we're packing lots of water. Also, if you have water nearby, hydrate. You will need 2 yoga blocks or something of equal height to stand on, or 1 yoga block will also do if you don't have it. We will use this for warming up our legs. All right, let's get started. A bit of a dance warm-up. I know it is very warm already. I'm in shorts, but you can also see my legs better. And getting everything moving will make it easier to dance. So I'm gently bending my knees, like always, sending my hips behind my feet. I almost lose balance, so let's try this for a moment. Just sending the hips backwards and the weight all the way into the heels. First with straight legs, so you can feel what I mean. My head stays, my hips travel back, and then when they cannot go further, I bend the knees and I send my shorts in the same direction. And it will give you a nice stretch here and a nice boost activation for the back of the legs and the glutes, which we will need for releve without getting too tired. So sitting back, sliding back. As you can see, I tilt my pelvis in and back. In, who's there? Hi Lieve, hi Britta, welcome. And Lieswat. So sliding back as far as you can. You can see I can lift my toes. My weight's all the way in the heels until I lose balance. And then I send my hips further back by bending the knees. If you want to practice this separately, you can grab onto something like the sofa, which you cannot see, but it's here. You can grab onto something and make it a little stretch, which is really nice if you have been dancing a lot or walking a lot. So after walking, I do this. And if you have a friend, you can hold hands and do this. So hips back. And that's what I do in the warm-up, but gently. So a little mini squat tutorial, but it's important. It's a very good posture exercise. Back of the legs strengthener activator. And we'll use all of that in traveling steps, our theme of the August online classes. I'm simply moving my arms. Okay, now let's do the opposite, rounding the back and sending the chest behind me, arms to the front, opening the back, wiggle a bit, and then sending my chest out, the weights in the ball of the feet, and my arms push back, opening the chest, especially here. So rounding the back, opening between the shoulder blades, opening the chest, relaxing the neck. Go back and open. Go back and open. I'll turn like this so you can see my arms. And open. And I try to go further back and further front, crossing my arms all the way. And imagining I'm crossing them behind me also. Hi Sasha, welcome. Welcome to very warm Germany. I'm sure it's very warm where you are too. 2 more. I keep my elbows lifted as I do this. And over and out. Over and out. Let's shake out the legs for a moment. And the feet. So I'm like I would do with my hands. I don't only shake out the arm, but also the hand. I'm going to do the same with the leg. Very loose, the knee bends and straightens, but I also release my ankle so my foot kind of shakes. Let's do a couple more. So I'm bending all the way, straightening all the way. A little kick. Okay. With your hands, make fists and use your knuckles to massage this bit right where the hip belt would be. So my pelvic bones are here. A bit lower is where the glutes, different layers of the glutes cross. And this, I use my knuckles to kind of wake it up. And it might be sore on one side or the other. That means you have maybe some pressure points. So you get a little massage at the same time. Okay, shake out the hands again and the feet. Let's get to work. Let's grab the blocks if you have them. If you don't have any blocks, maybe a step or a set of books, something you can stand on, and hopefully you have something to hold on to also. So let me bring the camera a little closer, taking you with me like this. Yes, that should be better, so you can see me. First I will be, you can be on one block or have the 2 blocks next to each other. Hi Pascal. Yes, you can watch later if you don't have connection. Maybe you can catch up in a moment. So I will be standing on the block and letting my heels float. Hi Monica, welcome. I let my heels float and I hold myself and I try to lift the front of the pelvis so this is nice and even. So I activate and lengthen the back, open the posture with everything I do. So I'm doing a posture exercise as well as a leg warm-up. I gently let my heels sink down. If you've done my workshop Playtime with Khalida in Danscapade in Crete with Boženka, we've done something like this also. And this I do every day to strengthen my legs, but also to wake up my glutes and to stretch at the same time. So I send my heels down. So if you are anywhere and your calf muscles are a bit tired, you can do this exercise to strengthen them, but also to release them. Just grab some stairs, hold yourself, and send the heels down. I hope you can see them even with the comments. So my heels go below the block and I lift my toes a couple of times. Okay. Then I stretch my foot on the block. I roll the toes over and under. So I'm on the ball of my foot and I bring my heel to the front. And then I gently curl my toes under and I bring my heel to the front. So I do this, and I do this. Like this. For those who cannot see my feet because of the comments, other side the same. So my foot is flat, and then I simply lift the heel, and I send the heel all the way there, and then I curl my foot under. On the yoga block, I do this on the yoga block because it's softer from the feet than the floor. And then I gently stretch like this. So again, foot flat and lifting the heel all the way to the front, and then gently rolling over. Only do this if it's not too uncomfortable, and on a yoga block or something soft. Okay, now let's warm up the feet further with no block. I will have my feet on the floor, the pad under my big toe and the pad under my little toe stay connected. Then I lift the heel, and then I kind of wiggle my ankle in and out, in and out. So I keep my toes connected to the floor and spread open. And then I circle the ankle, and I circle it back. Let's do the hands at the same time, so to save time and in case you want to work on your hands. So my foot is flat, my toes are spread. I keep the pad under the big and little toe connected to the floor, and then I move my ankle because it stretches all the muscles across the top of my foot and activates them. And then I circle my ankle. Who's there? Hi Caroline! I hope you're not melting. And circle the other way. Let's do one more time. This side, up and down. So the foot, toes are on the floor, and then circling the ankle, and you can do the same with your hands. Circling in and push off with the toes on the floor. Like a hand wave, but with the feet. Other side the same. One more time. Up and down. Circle. And this you can do any day. You don't need to warm up before doing this. This is a warm up. It's very good and healthy for the feet and ankles to move them in many, many different directions. And then I push off with the toes off the floor. Yes, and shake out again. So now one more thing. We did the little squats to activate the back of the legs. And one thing that helps me with releve is to use the glutes and to use all of these muscles to support. So it's not only the calf muscles that carry me, because this is something that happens often if you dance in releve and you're not used to it. And for traveling steps like chassé, like the float, like turns that we use in belly dance, also we are often in releve, and it can be very tiring for the calf muscles if the rest of the hips and glutes is sleeping. Then they have to do all the work. So you want to give the big muscles, the stronger ones, also something to do, and it will feel more balanced and you can practice longer without getting too tired. If you get a lot of muscle soreness and stiffness, I also recommend checking if magnesium supplements might help. This is the only supplement I take is magnesium citrate, and it helps me because I do martial arts 2 times a week, sword and taekwondo, and I do ballet 3 times a week if I'm feeling very brave on Tuesday, Wednesday and Friday, and contemporary. And I can do this if I take good care of myself. So if I rest enough, if I hydrate, if I eat healthily, and every now and then if my muscles feel like, ooh, I give them a bit of magnesium and it feels better to relax. So it's to balance out all the work. Self-care. Alright, that being said, to wake up your glutes, if you've been sitting a long time and it's Friday, so you might have had a long work week, this is a trick I learned from Gary Ward, the creator of Wake Your Feet Up, a little online course that I take, which is very, very helpful for aligning your posture, is to put your feet up on something. This can also be a little step, anything of this height, and then sending your knee, something we always say don't do, but it's actually a useful movement to bring your knee further than the foot in front. We do this in walking also. And like this, with the foot on the blocks, you can control it, and your other leg is still there to give you balance. And as soon as your hip starts traveling over the block, you might feel this area waking up, like it's activating, and that's what you want. You can press into the block a bit, or simply send the knee further out, or reach with your arms until you almost lose balance. But don't go too far front. You want the hips to travel. If this does something for you, then then yay. Then that's something you can use to balance out sitting, because it can put your booty to sleep and you want to wake it up before dancing. So same thing with the other side. I'm not doing anything crazy, I'm simply sending my hips forward and the knee can travel further on the block. I'm keeping my feet relaxed and I kind of explore or maybe wiggle a bit until I feel this glute of the bent leg, the one with the foot on the block, wake up. You can even twist a bit over to this side or this side. Anything you can do that makes you feel like your leg suddenly has to do something, especially the back of the leg, will help you with releve and with walking, with everything, with life. Okay, that's it, that's enough. You only need to do this for a couple of seconds, but it felt nice. Now that you have awakened glutes, let's squeeze them, activate them. So imagine squeezing the muscles coming together and lifting you. So my glutes, I squeeze them, but I relax my face. Hi Rosemary. Hi Kirsten, welcome. So I squeeze my glutes, but I relax my face. You don't want any tension up here, only here. Squeeze, 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 relax and breathe. Keep the tension. Now squeeze more and relax the face. Squeeze more, relax the face, squeeze more, relax the face. Now squeeze so much that your whole pelvis is lifted, as if you're being carried from here, together and in and up. And now it feels as if your feet don't have to do any work. It's the glutes pulling you. And that's the feeling that I want you to keep for any releve work, be it next week for chassés, if you're taking the online classes, traveling steps, which you can still sign up for if you haven't yet. It will be a lot of fun because you'll get strong legs and walking will feel like a breeze. So from here, we will do the floating, side to side. And the way I have been taught this, same is for choo-choos by the way, traveling choo-choos, is to make it easier for yourself by lifting your heel as high as you can. If you have your heel only up a little, your point of balance or your point of gravity, your center of gravity will be over the heels, will be here. And that's a lot harder to carry, your weight here, than when it's all stacked up nicely. So if you are hanging behind the balls of your feet a little, then it's very heavy for your feet. But if you can squeeze and lift up all the way up, you will have one line from the balls of the feet supporting, so everything will be stacked up. And it helps, we do this in ballet for points as well, to bring the chest a bit in front to help you stay on the front of your feet and not fall back and lose your balance. So to do this, to make it a little bit easier, I turn out slightly, not too much, a little, and when my heels go up, I imagine my ankles coming in. So instead of this, I hope you can see my feet, instead of this, I go here. I send the inner ankles together. So instead of this, I go here, as if my heels want to meet. My heels want to meet and the inner thighs come together. And this gives me a bit of tension that we have from ballet that also helps me to stay lifted. So the inside of the legs have to work. Let's try this together. From here, I know a lot of preparation, but it makes all the traveling steps easier. As soon as I lift, I engage the glutes and I press my thighs together, 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 together. So the feet go inside. It's more on the pad under my big toe than under my pinky, but I still keep connection with both, only I send the weight here. So if this were my ankles, I do this and squeeze it together. It's tiring now, but you will get strong faster. Shake it out. Now let's try. If you lift like this, ankles in, crossing the leg over a bit, crossing the feet, and then walking only with the lower part of the foot. So what happens is, if this is the pad of the big toe and the pad of the little toe, I will roll sideways like this for the float. So instead of stepping, I use the bones of my feet. One foot is crossed in front, and one in the back. So it's like I'm sneaking my feet sideways. Try to do it slowly. 1, 2, 1, 2. So I keep my legs closed, crossed over. If I go there, it's a bit easier to have this leg in front. And with my feet, I do this. Okay, let me turn the camera down a bit, so hopefully you can see it clearly. Yes, so I'll be back in a moment, but this way I'm sure you can see my feet. 1, 2, 1, 2. So my knees don't travel out, they stay. My legs are crossed and I turn out from the pelvis. So I don't open, I cross. I turn out and keep crossed, and then it's the feet and the ankles doing the work. I can keep this leg in front, no matter where I go, and switch. And this takes a bit of practice, squeezing the glutes, thighs together, because we're not used to using that part of the foot. Okay, we're back. Let's try this with music. Voila. And I use the same technique. Wait, let me switch the camera a bit. I use this exact same technique for choo-choo shimmies, where I travel, as well as for any movements where I want to keep the feet close together, like the float. So I will cross. Let's shake out the feet for a moment. We'll do a stretch at the end. I will cross, keep the legs together, squeezing the ankles in, curl to this side, curl to this side, and then zigzag a bit by sending my hips out, diagonal to the front. Now to the back, to the back, to the back, to the back. As you can see, this leg is still in front. Shake it out. Other leg in front. So up, squeezing, ankles in, like this, so no banana feet. I keep it together, and I kind of sneak over. And then you can add arms and expression to make it a stronger effect. Any arms you want, the slower the better. And don't show how tiring this is. And shake out the feet. Let's do a little stretch and then we'll move to some variations you can do for this movement. So it's all in the preparation. Let's grab the yoga block again. It's all in the preparation, waking up the back of your legs to make it less tiring, and practicing your releve in such a way that you're able to bring these ankles in and keep the legs together. Yes. And also to practice bringing up the heels to the maximum releve. It seems counterintuitive, but the higher you go in releve, the less tiring in the end it will become. So it's worth it to do this exercise, coming down and up all the way. So let's do that. If you do this every day, after a week or so, you will be amazed at how much higher you can go in releve and how much easier your travel steps will be. So I hope you can use this little tutorial. So I'm going up in releve on both legs, and then I bend one, so I get a foot stretch, and on the other side the heel comes down, so I get a calf stretch. I do this often also, as you can imagine, because it really relaxes my legs after all the different sports that I do and dances. And you can, if your feet can handle it, you do like this, you can see next to the comments, you can stretch like this or like this with the front foot. Sneaking it into the side of the comments part, depending on with what you are looking here. On a mobile device, this might be easier. So I lift both my heels as high as I can. I come down, sending this leg straight, and the front leg, I can choose how I want to stretch. You can wiggle your ankle a bit. Shake out all the tension in your calf muscle. Up, one more. Front and back. So let me know if this works for you. I want to see many people float. It's a really nice movement, almost a lost art, that works well in belly dance because we usually have long skirts or long costumes. And then it really does look like you're flying and floating across the stage. And if you can, play with a bit of isolations on top. So you can do a very slow hip slide to make it interesting, or circle as you would do with Choo Choo. But what I like a lot is to add upper body slow motion movements, like a circle. Let's circle a bit. 1, 2, 3, thank you for the heart. 4, and other side. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now 2 but slower. 1 and 2. Other side. 1. This has 2 advantages. 1, because you're doing it slow. It'll have a special effect if you're traveling with it. And second, because you're doing it slow, you can make the movement bigger without it pulling you off balance. You want to be isolated so it doesn't look too muddled. It looks more floaty if it's only the chest, but you want your face to still be relaxed because you're performing like a magic trick. You don't want to show too much that it's technique and hard work. You want this expression to be free, so the audience is free to be amazed by what you do. And I first learned this movement, by the way, from Aziza of Canada, and she studies ballet next to belly dance. And this is one of the ways you can mix it. But I've seen it also in classical belly dance performances, very old school, this movement. And it's fun to fuse different movement arts to enrich them both. So for this one, slow chest movements or very slow snake arms also work really well. What you also can do is we'll play with all of this to music, 1 arm pathway over 8 counts or however long your traveling bit will be. Yes, so let's try floating first normally, left and right. Then we'll do a bit of a zigzag, and I'm adding low snake arms just to have something to do. Going backwards, zigzag. So you can see if you do the foot thingies, if you get too tired, you can even try it flat-footed. It's a bit less fluid, but at least you will be practicing the idea. Then we'll go into chest circles. Let's go, if I go to this side, the circle in the same direction. Like we did with the Choo Choo. Circle in the same direction as I am traveling. And then we do snake arms. Freestyle. Very slow. Or shoulders. Yes. So let's do this with music. And then, yes. Sorry for the poor connection. Every now and then you will lose me, but I'll try to come back. So, first a couple of releves. I'll go here so you can see my feet. I turn out slightly. I try to keep my thighs together and I activate the glutes. I come up and you can grab something. I'm holding something for balance. Up. And I try to push the legs together. So I don't do this. I stay on the inside of the balls of my feet. Inside of the balls of the feet. This is what you want to strengthen. And let's plie to balance. Up, plie. And for those who just tuned in, today's tip drop, if you're a tip drops member, will be for releasing sore muscle trigger points or points of contact that will help you release your muscles, and you can apply this to the calf for plie, but also to anything else where you feel it. Okay, I think that's sufficient warming up. Then cross the feet, bring them very close together so I don't have any gap. My feet are almost on top of each other, and I turn out. It's good that I'm wearing shorts. It's for the warmth, but also so you can see what's happening. And then I start a little walking. I'll go to the very edge of the screen, side to side, tiny steps, rolling the feet, rolling the feet, rolling the feet. You can add a little. Lotus hands, for those who did the lotus hands tutorial. Then we'll slide the hips to the side. Chest, up, side, down. And your other arm to leave the stage. Up, side. This can be a nice exit after you're dancing and the wave. Shake out the legs for a moment. Little stretching break. If you want, do a little calf stretch. Walking. And bring this foot all the way front. All the way front. I do little stretching breaks when I practice difficult things, just to be able to keep going for a little longer. Let's try snake arms now. Other leg in front. Snake arm and zigzag a bit. Towards your friends, or to me, and zigzag back. 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 Straight to the side. Straight to the other side. Four hands. Shake out. Shake out. Thank you for joining me. I hope you are doing it, but do hydrate in between. I know it's very warm. You're very brave. Hi, Hugo. Yes, yes. Feel free to. This video will stay online forever. Well, for as long as I'm able to keep it on Facebook, so you can join it when it's cooler in the morning or evenings also. Let's switch legs. I'll keep you entertained. You can just watch, eat popcorn, and join and practice later. If you have any questions about traveling steps, the next weeks I might do more bonus videos. But also feel free to jump in to my online classes for traveling steps. It is August. We still have 3 weeks left, and you can catch up with my recordings. I'm doing freestyle arms and talking, advertising, as well as floating, so it is possible to layer with whatever you want. Okay, one more thing. Stretch again. Mini break. And this you can do, whatever we do now with the circles, the arms, you can layer it on top of a choo-choo shimmy. Let's do it with no music for a moment. One thing that I also got an idea inspired by Aziza, who taught me the float, is for choo-choo shimmy, but you can also do it with floating, to pull yourself, as if you have a rope, to pull yourself towards the diagonal and doing the float at the same time. So if you're doing a choo-choo, which is the same technique by the way, I'm just bending my knees a bit more and adding hips, but my feet are still doing this, and as you can see hopefully, my legs still stay crossed and they are still turned out. So I'm doing the exact same thing with and without the choo-choo. The way I do a choo-choo is the same as how I do the float. I just add maybe different accents, maybe different arms, and I do it to different music. But you can interchange, use this technique for choo-choos and for your float. Okay, one more song. One more song, and then I cool you down and I send you off into the weekend. I like this music because it is short. It's only 1 minute 45 seconds, so I don't go too long. Also for you guys, let's shake out again, like we did in the beginning. Bending your leg completely and letting the ankle flop like you would do with your arms. For those who want to give themselves an extra challenge, try adding more isolations or a flutter or maybe an ami. Anything you would not think about normally, add it with this round just to experiment, play with it and make it your own. And try this out, add it in your dance. It doesn't have to be long to be impressive, and if you have wings for instance, you can use this a wing float, or with a veil it can be really nice also, or fanbats. So, that being said, last round, crossing the legs, Lifting but squeezing the legs together, ankles going in, so weight on the inside of the ball of the foot. Glutes activated, chest a bit in front for balance, shoulders opened, getting yourself going, walking the little feet. And you can try sharp accents, belly, chest, maybe even hips, but then I would keep it for a couple of counts. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and don't go with every step because then it becomes a choo-choo. Other leg in front. What else? You can add a flutter. I cannot talk and flutter. I have to do this in silence. But if anything you want to practice, practice it on top of a float and you will have a fun new thing to play with in your choreographies, dances, and in your classes if you're a teacher. So feel free to use, by the way, anything from these free videos. You are free to use it in classes or teach it to others. I am happy if what I do inspires you to move and to dance. This is why I'm doing these free videos, especially in these times. It's very important to just keep moving for health, mental as well as physical, and give yourself some positive energy and take care of yourself as well. So after this, do a long stretch, take a shower, give yourself some healthy food, drink water, be good to yourself, and life will become a little bit easier as you do this, because it's easy to forget to take care of ourselves if we are taking care of others. But you have to balance it, otherwise you won't be able to do it for a very long time. So take care of yourself. That's the message I want to give you for this weekend. That being said, let's stretch a bit. So grab something if you need for balance. If not, you can practice balance while you do this. And move your knee around slightly while pulling up here. And you can stretch the chest by sending it to the front and bending the elbow. So you're doing all of this at the same time, saving time. And you can even bend and straighten your standing leg to give your body and brain new things to process, which sometimes helps more than actual stretching to release muscles. The more you move and in the more ways you move, the better. So if there's any movements that you don't tend to do, it's always beneficial to try them. So I'm bending my elbow to give my shoulders some stretch. I send my chest away. I lift here so I feel it more here. And then I move, just simply move and see what feels good. And you can bend and straighten this leg. Sometimes translates into release somewhere else. Shake it out. Oh, something I completely forgot. I wanted to talk about this at the beginning and I got overly excited. I am teaching an online workshop. What I'm doing now is I lift the knee and I press against it because it releases everything. And shake out. I am teaching an online workshop called Posing for Pictures 2. It is the follow-up of my workshop of July, where I will talk about mostly how I prepare and what I do and ideas for pictures outside, outdoors. And because the weather is still nice and in fall you can take beautiful pictures in the forest or park or wherever, or a garden even, that I want to share my experiences of my outdoor shoots. And let's do the arms also a bit. I have learned a lot from the different photo shoots that I've done over the years, but especially the ones that I did this July after the first workshop. So if you've taken the first one, it will be different. It'll go deeper into the things I was not able to go into because of time, but also I will focus more on the differences between preparing for indoor and outdoor shoots and how I prepare myself physically. So what can you do if you're in costume, so also for dancing backstage, how you can warm up yourself and release your muscles if you already have your costume on so you don't mess it up. I will also talk about body makeup, so how I make up my body for photo shoots and sometimes performances, which is also something I was not able to pack into the first workshop. But even if you have not done Posing for Pictures 1, you can do the second one and get the recordings of the first one later. They can be taken totally separately or together. it doesn't matter. They are they're complementary but modularity, so you can take them separately or both. It doesn't matter. You will get something out of each one, I think, I hope. And also in the Posing for Pictures 2 workshop, it's next Saturday, 15th of August. I'm stretching my fingers. I will talk about how you can pose more naturally. So in my first photo shoots, it's very glam, but I wanted to experiment a bit and have pictures that look more like me but still dance. And these are the pictures that you will see on my profile in the coming days. I had a beautiful photo shoot with a wedding photographer called Rosa, and I saw the pictures afterwards. I didn't see them during, and I was amazed at how different each one looked and still like me. And she had a very interesting way of guiding me as a photographed person, and I want to share what we did, also how these pictures were made, so you might also have some ideas for your photo shoots. So Posing for Pictures 2, my upcoming workshop next Saturday. Please join if you can, because I think it will be a lot of fun and a lot of value. Even if you don't have many photo shoots, the ideas you have there, you can use them for life and for dance as well. So that's what I want to say, I forgot about it. Next to that, online classes will be traveling steps this month. Let's bend one leg, feet parallel, pelvis up, sending to the front. Traveling steps will be the theme of this month for my online classes. We go into strength, flexibility, as well as technique. Let's straighten the arms and roll the shoulders back, bending a bit deeper and bending the back. Because I think working on the fundamentals, working on your movement quality changes everything. And it's something that I don't see often in classes because there's no time. We only do the technique. But working on the things underneath technique, let's switch legs, is what makes the difference and is what makes dancing fun again. If you are an intermediate dancer and you get kind of stuck, revisiting the basics and working on quality of movement instead can make everything like a rediscovery. You rediscover the basic movements, and even walking can become more beautiful and more like dancing if you work on it. So that's what I want to share in my August online classes, Travel Step Boost. And in my tip drops, you'll get a weekly video of Khalida in your pocket, motivating you via email to practice or release some muscles or strengthen something. It's a different one every week, and you will get all of them via email if you sign up for my Tip Drops membership. So 3 things: workshop, Posing for Pictures, online classes, Traveling Steps, Tip Drops membership. That's what I offer at the moment. Okay, that's all for today. You can see my cheeks are rosy because it's very warm and we worked hard. Enjoy this video. If you have any questions, let me know. If you have any requests, let me know, because I'll be doing some free videos every month. I enjoy them so much. And also for me, it's a good review for some techniques that I may not have used for a while. Thank you anyway for joining me today. Thank you for being here in this group. And I wish you a lovely weekend. Stay cool, take care of yourself, stay hydrated, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.